This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome to We'll Run For It. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Erin.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hi.
How is everyone?
Oh my God, it's been forever.
We are so out of practice. I have no idea what is happening.
God.
When was the last time we recorded?
Was it early
was
December?
Early December, and before that, it had been like a full month too,
Yeah,
because it was
yeah.
like we did the Space Coast one and a bunch of them right in a row.
We traveled.
and then we
yeah.
hadn't done one in November either because we had taken that break. So I don't even know how to do this anymore. I'm really out of practice, and we essentially all disappeared from social media. Diana, who never takes care of social media at all, carried our social media because the other three of us just completely disappeared off of it.
Well, it was all that hard work I put into that destroyed my immune system.
And then you got COVID.
And then I got COVID. And died.
Oh,
So
boy.
today is the first day I've really worked out since 2 days before Christmas. And
Oh, wow.
I'm just going to let you know, my entire body, it hurts. It's not right. Everything hurts. I feel sore.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
went back to Orange Theory today, and all I did was walk on the treadmill. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's my first day back. I'm not going to get into the orange at all, but we're back to masks. And I was walking at an incline, and, like, I immediately went into orange. I was like, oh, no.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
Well, just because your body's not used to it.
It's not used to
again.
it. It's
yeah.
not used
to it.
It's got to get back into the flow of it. It'll come back pretty quick, though.
So, yeah, I'm going to try and walk this week and just do some walking.
Just get back into it.
Slowly. Well,
Yeah.
my thing was, I guess I started feeling better like 3-4 days ago or so, but I didn't want to do what I always do, which is as soon as I feel slightly better, I'm like jumping feet first back into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so I tried to not do that and just take the time that I need. So
I've been warned about that already. Spoilers. Also, I have COVID. I've been warned not to. Yeah, I've been warned not to jump back into it as well.
Yes, because he's notorious for these things, and we just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know. You don't know what COVID's going to do or how your body's going to react to it. So
I have a very mild case, however, I will say.
well, I mean, obviously, yes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be recording right now if you were on your deathbed.
No.
I did not have a
it's just
mild
going
case.
around.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys, we don't normally talk about the C word on this podcast, but I guess since a bunch of us have had it, it feels like
Well,
it's
when
relevant.
it comes into my bed, then I'm allowed to talk about it. Like, what the hell? Like, awful.
Hey,
But literally everyone obviously everyone knows the numbers were up. We went to Florida. Ironically, Michael thinks he had it before we went to Florida.
Because everybody I work with apparently now has it.
But we kind of had a feeling we were coming back with it anyway. So here we are.
in other news, we got a Peloton for Christmas.
Oh.
I feel like those are the two words of 2021, COVID
Yes.
and Peloton.
It's true.
Yeah. We jumped on
Well,
the bandwagon.
2020. I don't even know what year it is anymore.
It's 2022.
Yes. So 2020 was the start of the Peloton, right? And then 2021. Although, oh wait, spoiler alert. Does anybody watch Sex in the City?
Okay, first of all, they should know. You should know. If you don't know by now, turn off the podcast.
True. I was just going to say 2020 may not have been the year at the end of the year for Peloton since their stocks plummeted after Sex and the City killed off a major character while on the Peloton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 2 days later, that character was in a commercial with one of the instructors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narrated by Ryan Reynolds about Peloton. So
Yeah.
I feel like all that was staged. I think the reason why they fell off is because everybody let their guard down and started going back into the gyms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, because now there's other options and you wanted to leave your home.
Mm-hmm.
And then the C word came back and was like, nope.
No gyms.
Not on my watch.
And it's not the C word I usually use.
It's not. It is not. But we love I will speak for myself. I love the Peloton so far.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used it for the first time yesterday. I felt so bad. So Tom surprised me with the Peloton for Christmas. So he actually put a Peloton ornament on the tree that I had to find. He was like, "There's a surprise coming for you. There's a clue on the tree," and he had a little Peloton ornament on the tree. It was really cute. And then it got delivered 2 days later, and then I just stared at it for 14 days. So
because you were sick. Oh my God, that's right.
And in my defense, I've always wondered what it would be like to give someone a car for Christmas. You know, they go outside and you have the big bow on a brand new car. And I'm like, I will never be at that point. This is the closest thing I've ever done to something like that because I've never bought a gift this expensive for anybody. But I could also finance it for 4 years at 0% interest, and it's $40 a month, and there's no penalty to pay it off early. So I'm like, this is
I'll just do this.
This is not that expensive, you know. So
funny.
yeah, loving it so far.
That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
If we had space or weren't on the third floor of an apartment building and that allowed us to have a Peloton, I would have gotten one. But another spoiler alert, we're looking for houses, and this has accelerated my desire. I'm like, Diana and Tom have a Peloton? Now I need one. I'm like, we need to find our house.
oh my gosh.
Our condo.
I'm telling you, I haven't been on a bike in 5 years. Any type of bike, a bike at the gym, any type of bike. I'm telling you, it's totally different muscles. I was like, oh, that's new in my quads. And today, I keep talking about my undercarriage is just sore as all hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. The class was really fun. Tom's been doing a ton. Tom is all in.
Well, Tom was on
Getting ready for Dopey.
Not Tom's on the trolley of his goals. He's got a long way to go, right? That Dopey goal with some weight loss.
Dopey goal, the weight loss goal is still there. I'll be honest, I'm slow out of the gate because we started putting our food into MyFitnessPal. Mm-hmm. Good God, I have the worst diet.
Yeah.
I usually get a large sweet iced tea from
Oh God,
Dunkin'.
that'll do it. Yeah.
And I put that in the other day, and I'm like, all right, so this is the problem.
Yeah.
Because all of my calories were gone.
I kept
immediately.
telling him.
Just get a tea without sugar in it.
For 4 years, I've been telling him that he's drinking all of his calories.
Yeah,
I'm it's such a waste.
It'll do it. Yep.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
So weight loss is going well. How's the Peloton going for you?
I'm super excited because, they have a bunch of different challenges you can do. And one of the first challenges I saw was the Taylor Swift challenge.
Oh God.
Gosh. So
and I mean, it's pretty well documented that I'm a huge Swiftie, but it was a challenge that you have to do 3 Taylor Swift Red album themed workauts to get this badge. Basically, it's just it gamifies
badges.
it. Yep. And so I did a 30-minute ride, and they just basically play the album. And then I did a 10-minute stretch, which, if you're familiar with the song All Too Well, when she did the 10-minute version, that's the entire stretch is to that one song.
Oh, wow.
And then because I had to do it in a certain time frame, there is a 20-minute floor exercise, but it's your body weight. So basically push-ups and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was in German.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy is speaking German, playing the Taylor Swift album, leading me through sit-ups and stuff, but I got my badge.
That's awesome. It was
So badges motivate you.
Yes. It was so funny. Tom was walking me through everything last night because it was the first time I'd used it. And he's like, see when it says German like this? This means the language is German. And I was like, yeah, I would think so.
I don't know know what I thought.
What else would it mean?
Maybe subtitled in German? I don't know.
Oh, God.
But it was like 20-minute ride, Taylor Swift. German. Like
I'm like, that could mean anything.
Oh my
What's this
God.
mystery?
Oh, gosh. So you're liking it, Tom. I
do
saw
like it.
that you got the gift for Diana and was like, it's also kind of a gift for you.
Well, yeah.
it's a gift for the house. He also
Yeah.
got us one of those guns you have, those Theraguns.
Oh, the Theragun,
those-
yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I went a little hard
Santa
at Christmas.
Santa was good to us this year, so
But I feel like we're like the Peloton. That's good for both of us. We can cross train, and when
Yeah.
it's you know nasty out and it's easy, and
Especially
then
this time of year, yeah.
and then like the Theragun, like half of this year is going to be spent in a lot of pain training for Dopey. So like I feel like
Yes.
it's an investment in our future.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
true.
gosh, I
Agree.
it's funny. I looked up while you guys were down in Dopey. I was getting kind of inspired for next year. So I pulled up the Running World training plan that I used last time I did Dopey. And that's the plan my friends Nikki and Nicole followed. And I kind of did like a married version between that and Galloway. But I felt like they were more trained than I am, or I was. So I'm going to follow that. And then I put it in calendar and like tagged Tom and everything. So I was like, we're doing this many miles on this day. Like for like next October. And he was like, oh my God. Like he was like.
It's so depressing.
Oh,
No, it's not depressing.
Slow build,
Listen,
that's
you just watched a bunch of people do their first marathon through Will Run For, and watched a bunch of Instagram people, strangers on the internet, run their first marathons. Tom, I mean, you should be inspired right now,
I'm super inspired.
and you are going to do it too.
I am not doubting myself. I'm just saying it's going to be painful. But
There'll be a lot of tears.
we'll get there.
Oh,
Do we?
I had a
Okay, go
question.
ahead.
I had a question about Peloton. How's clipping in and out on that? How's
All
that
right.
going?
So here's the thing. For everybody else, it's not difficult.
That's not true. I have heard stories.
I've heard a lot of people.
I've heard a lot of stories. That's why I was wondering. That's why this was one of my questions for you.
I actually rode this morning and I got out really easily. And I was just nervous. I was like, Diana, you're going to get stuck. Because like I got stuck my first time and I had to like take off my shoes while they were in the
Yeah, you got stuck for like 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Listen,
and then
there's a listener who I shall not name because I don't know if they want their name mentioned on here, who had to have their husband clip her in and clip her out every single time she got on to the Peloton for the first little bit. So you are not the only person in this world who has
God.
issues with the Peloton.
I didn't have like clipping in. I thought was a little challenging. I had to do it like a couple of times. It only took me a minute or so.
Yeah.
And then clipping out, like the girl in the video told you exactly what to do. She's like, lean your foot forward and twist like you're stomping on a bug. And I did it. And my foot came right out.
Now-
Like,
Think about trying to do that on a moving bicycle.
Oof.
no, there's no way. I can't be outside on that thing. Are you crazy?
I would die.
I have clip-in
I
pedal
would die.
I would die.
clipless
I would die.
pedals. Yeah.
You triathletes. I cannot.
So here's the thing, and I'm just going to kind of glaze over it because
It's not
I'm
official.
I'm not registered for it yet, but I am thinking about a triathlon.
What was the first words out of my mouth when Diana posted it on her Facebook?
Oh yeah, that's right.
My very
Yeah,
first
yeah,
words out
yeah,
of my
yeah.
comment to Diana was, it wasn't even yay for Diana, great Christmas presents. It was, I smell a triathlon in Tom's future.
It's like a sprint distance.
Yeah.
I have a
Still.
friend.
Yeah.
I have a friend that is one of like the ambassadors for. It's called Rip It Events. It's
Yep.
like one of these companies, and she gave me a code for 15% off, and it's like a 400 swim in a swimming pool, and then like a 10-mile bike ride and a 3-mile run.
Yep.
All
And I
of
had
those distances I can definitely do.
And I had a feeling because you already had have the swim in you. So when I saw the Peloton, I was like, a triathlon's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be that guy who doesn't buy $1,000 road bike because I own a mountain bike that is sort of.
You shouldn't.
I mean, it's not a shit.
Not for a 10-mile.
It's not a terrible mountain bike.
For a 10-mile bike ride, you don't need something like
I wouldn't
that.
get
Unless you're going to get heavily into it, like beyond that. Like if you were to do it and you were to love it, then maybe at that time you should invest in something or think about investing in something. But like for your first event, I wouldn't do what I did, where I bought like a $900 bike and didn't know if
in the garage.
It sits in the garage.
Have you seen what they wear? And have you seen my body type?
Yes.
I'm telling you, that was my question when he registered for his swim. And then he got mad at me because he said, I registered for a swim. And I said, what are you supposed to wear was my first question.
Listen.
But that's my concern now because like
triathletes come in all different shapes and sizes as well because I did them for a little while. It's fine.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, like my biggest source of contention is once you get out of the pool, if I don't have like one of those full body things on, like I got to run through a field to get to the bike shirtless.
Yeah.
There's a bit of like internal embarrassment going on there in my head already, but whatever, man.
The transitions are the actually what's part of the most challenging parts of the triathlon is transitioning from like the swim onto the bike, because depending on where the bikes are, and then once you get off your bike, you have to change to out of your bike stuff to go run.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wear cargo shorts.
Yeah, there you go. then you have lots of pockets for all your fuel and stuff.
So much pockets.
Yeah.
So many pockets.
Oh man,
Nice.
Michael, do we have any 5-star reviews?
we do have a new one from over the holiday times. Remember, you can now rate us on Spotify, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Just a rating,
comment.
no review, just a rating on Spotify. Or you can do the good old review on Apple Podcasts. So we have Jogging Toriois. I assume this is a play on tortoise, and I assume I'm not pronouncing it correctly because I don't know. And they say, I'm not sure how I found this podcast, but as I've been training for the Goofy Challenge, this podcast has been a lifesaver for the long runs. I love how much fun y'all have interacting with each other and how real each other is about their running journey, joys and slumps. Thank you for helping me stay sane while training for my first marathon and helping me find a few bucket list races as well. And hopefully everything went well on your marathon. It was a warm day out there, and I probably cheered you at the finish.
Do we know who this is, Tom?
It looks like her name is Tori.
Definitely, her name is Tori.
Tori.
Yeah.
Did we find out what her IG handle is? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have IG.
I think it is Jogging
Taurus.
Tortoise? Torius. Well, she's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. And apologies, our slumps have been worse or more than our joys lately.
Tori, I just started
I
following
feel like we've
you.
been real negative.
Yeah, I know. I just started following you on Instagram though. I'm sorry I didn't actually. Oh, she's got a goal to finish a half marathon in 50 states. She's got 42 to go.
Awesome.
So I just found her on IG, and
Cool.
I'm sorry we missed you at marathon weekend.
Yeah, we were there. I was laying around on the asphalt for a while on Saturday and Sunday.
Was not. Look, we congratulated her on her thing already. So Tom, good job. Our social media king.
Look at that. We are like
We're on top of
influencers.
it,
Yeah, we're
Tori.
nailing it. Yep. No, but thank you for the review. Appreciate it. And remember, always do that kind of thing. Also share it with your friends. It's a great way to get it out there.
Yeah. Spotify, I know, was it Laura Duxon?
Mm-hmm.
She tagged us and said that she did that. And then I believe it was Tanya, this Phoenix Runs,
Yes.
also tagged us and said that she rated it. So we've started
Who was our last guest on Inside the Runner
Yes.
Studio, actually.
the one that just dropped last week
Yeah.
as you're listening to
She's
this.
so great.
Also,
Yeah.
I always listen to our episodes, partly because I'm really narcissistic, but like some of those conversations happened a while ago. I forgot how much knowledge and like random brilliant knowledge she dropped on us, and we were all just like sitting there like
dumbasses, like
dummies.
we are.
And I think she got really, because she texted me, she's like, I didn't see my addendum. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, because she said something about, was it the hair eating or something?
Yeah.
And she corrected herself, and so I laughed about it like in a text message with her, but I didn't realize she was serious. So then she went and like put all this other knowledge in her comments. So if you
That's
guys
awesome.
want, you can read the comments.
Love it.
So funny.
Oh my gosh, so good.
All right, so what are we running for this week?
Is anybody running this week?
I'll go first. let me get this out of the way. I'm running for what I'll call discomfort in all forms, because I ran yesterday for the first time in 2022, and I only did 2 miles, and I wanted to die. It was terrible. I was at the gym, and I was intimidated by the high school little kids, and they're all muscles, and I'm like this heavy guy on a treadmill, really sweating. And I couldn't breathe because I got a mask on, which is fine, wear your mask. But, like, I have not been running. And I feel like I've got to be running. So discomfort, I got to get outside. I got to run outside. I can't just default to a treadmill because that kind of sucks when you can't breathe. I just got to be cold. I got to be uncomfortable. I got to start really getting into a good rhythm.
No, you can find me outside in the spring. This is for the birds. I will be on a treadmill.
Yeah, I think for Dopey, just keep going slow this time of year. Just get some slow, easy miles in. You know?
Yeah, just start building a base.
We got Shamrock, and then 2 weeks later, we got Springtime Surprise. So I sort of have to prepare for that.
That's a good point. Yeah, fair point.
But you can fake your way through
You
a
can
half
fake your way through
marathon,
that, though.
Tom.
Which is the weirdest thing. I can, but it's still gonna
I know.
suck.
It'll suck.
Yeah,
I don't want it. I don't want it to. I don't want it to suck that bad.
we'll get
because
there about not training and hoping. For
It'll
some-
suck.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Because I feel like this is our Shamrock swan song, and I want it to be a fun weekend, and I don't want to just be in that tent afterwards with all that COVID, just being very, very, in just pain.
Yeah, true.
That's my litmus test. If I don't want to die after a half marathon, I've trained properly, and
That's good.
I've had several races where I feel like, hey, I want to stay out here and party with y'all instead of crawling back into bed because I want to die.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm running for, is to really buckle down and starting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, my no run December turned into like no run half of January. So
Through no fault of your own, though. I mean, realistically, yeah.
I mean, technically, I was running in December. It was just all
Orange
OTF.
theory,
Yeah.
So it was never more than like 2, sometimes 2.5 miles on like a 3G day. But now I have to get back into it, and so I'm just gonna start kicking off my 2022 goals. So that's really what I'm running for. I still feel kind of crappy, so I can't even guys, I haven't drank since before Christmas. No, that's a lie. I drank on Christmas. And then I haven't drank since then because I felt so bad. That's how you know I'm sick.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin this for you, but I've had
a beer a day.
morning and day beers because I've been off for COVID, and I haven't
don't even
felt
know how.
that.
Like,
It's been 2 days. Just so
I
everyone
felt
knows. Let's
so bad.
He makes us sound like it's been like weeks. It's been 2 days. He's literally
I
been
know.
home for 2 days.
It feels like weeks. I don't even know why.
It's 2 days.
Oh yeah, so me, I am not running because of Omicron, basically.
Well, you hadn't planned on running anyway.
No, I was actually feeling like I wanted to start running again. But yeah, our plan was actually to bang out a bunch of Orange Theory this month. We went unlimited, but obviously that's all.
Well, I froze
scratched
our
also,
our memberships for a couple weeks to
so.
see what happens.
A lot of our goals are our January fitness goals are kind of on hold temporarily.
Yeah.
Starting slow.
We did sign up for a Javelina 100 on
Oh yeah, we did that.
on New Year's Day. So
It's on the calendar.
goal 1 is on the calendar.
Whoop, whoop.
We'll see.
I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so stoked. I love that. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. What am I running for this week? I'm running. I don't know. I'm not running, so it's hard for me to have something to run for. I'm running for all the memories I made at Disney. No, I don't. I'm sorry, guys, to disappoint you, but for this month, at least until February, I won't have anything that I'm running for because I'm not going to run until February.
Good job. Don't do that. That was your goal, so don't do it. That was like your goal going into the year.
Yeah. So get back to me in February, and I'll tell you what I'm running for then.
Yeah, you need a break. You were getting a little burnt out.
Yeah, and after Goofy, I had the most amazing time, and we'll get into that. But I need some time, a couple weeks, and then to just start from scratch and refocus. And I think that that'll really help me get back into it if I just take a couple extra weeks to recover and not do anything. So
no, sometimes you just need to just step away from a little bit, and then you come back and you're super refreshed.
Yeah,
that's one of your goals.
It is
to not run.
My goal is to. That was on the list of my year goals was to not run for all of January. So I'm getting that goal.
And now, it's time for our Will Run For Goal Getters. Congrats on making your goals, you getters. Oh, you writes the shit.
Goal getters. We got a ton of goals from everyone. I think it's just because everyone, unlike us, everyone else started their goals out really strong for this year. And they just didn't fade away. So.
Well, we had a lot of Disney people.
Yeah, there was a lot
there,
of people who were down there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had such FOMO.
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
We did miss a couple from. We posted the Goal Gatherers community episode, and people stuck some in there, so we didn't put those in here. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah.
I missed those.
Gotcha. Well, I can kick us off with the first little bit. So, second star Megan, 2021 heart surgery. Oh my gosh. 2022 a 10K. 2023 half marathon. 2024 full. 2025 dopey. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yes. So second star Megan, I met her for the first time in person this week. She's one of the Mouseketeers. She did have heart surgery in 2021, 3 months ago, and she walked the 10K.
Yeah.
After her doctor told her she probably shouldn't be even walking a 5K, she walked the 10K. There was a lot of crying at the finish line.
Amazing.
Amazing. I love that. Love that. Raph, until the weather improves in central PA and the ice melts at my local track. And her, I love this. And my neighbors have learned to shovel salt their sidewalk properly.
Nice.
I'm sticking to weightlifting 5 times a week. Woo! I'm gonna be sore. Hoping to hit 500 pounds combined for a squat, bench press, and deadlift by mid-February.
Awesome.
Currently at 390. Oh my god!
I don't even know what that means.
Get it, Raph.
No, that's a lot.
Nice.
That feels like a lot.
I had 20-pound like a bench press when you lay down and you press up. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yep.
With like 2 10-pounders?
Listen to this gym rat over here.
Oh god. Hey bros, we'll catch you at the weight bench.
Oh god.
I was doing like 20 pounds, and what is this? Not my it's like my buff, my
your chest. It's your chest muscle.
my chest muscles.
Pectorals.
I can't
Pectorals.
believe
bad.
Did you have 220? So you had 40 total?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never do that. I like stick to 8s and 10s and 12s is generally where I don't do weight.
So
She rips.
I'm
Clearly.
yes.
She's a bro.
And I grunt really loudly while I do it. But that's amazing. Keep us updated. I want to celebrate when you hit your 500-pound goal. Oh, Christy Earle. Oh,
Yes.
we were just talking about her. Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Just because Erin said she saw you at Marathon. We were like, who did you see? But you want to get back to your pre-COVID half marathon pace. So amazing. That's a great goal. I think that's consistent with what most of us said at the end of the year.
Yes.
Snarky Snacker. Oh, I love that. Melissa. Chicago 2022 and Dopey 2023. We will see you there.
We'll be there.
We will be there. Angie, oh my gosh, her video with Winter on Marathon Morning was so cute.
So great, yeah.
It was so cute. Progress report, graduated from Walk 2, Run 1 to Walk, Run 1. I also have a goal of running the Shamrock Half with the baby in my jogging stroller.
Wow.
That'll be amazing until I steal the baby and run around, run away with it like Rumpelstiltskin.
You're so
She's
weird.
So cute.
Why do you make it weird?
She's so cute. I love babies. Let's see. I will have to do most of the training in the freezing cold, with a bag of dog food in the seat. So.
Oh God, yeah, to simulate. That's a good point.
Yeah, I love it. A perfectly imperfect Maria. We were all celebrating her all weekend. Her goal of finishing Dopey. I finished and now never want to do another full again. Sucker, you're doing it again with us. That's the goal, to be one and done. That was my goal,
She's
too.
funny.
And you
She's
see
funny.
how that worked out. It's
I
real
know.
funny. She says, in all seriousness, I owe Erin, Anna, and Susanna, and Michael. Look, she even gave you a shout-out, Michael, so much. You all kept me going, and I'm forever grateful. Love you guys.
We'll get into this. Maria keeps saying that she owes it to us, but she owes it to herself because she's amazing, and we did nothing.
She put in that work.
Keep on moving on.
Exactly.
Beach Runner, 78. That's Megan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I don't know anybody's Instagram handles. I have the same problem when I'm checking everybody in on, like, if I'm trying to tag people when I'm storying. I always start typing their first name, and then I'm like, what is their name on Instagram?
Yeah, I know.
So bad. I'm dumb. Ran her 15th marathon as part of the super short notice Goofy challenge.
Oh my
She's
God.
ready. Megan's always ready
always
to go.
ready,
She's
I
in
agree.
such great
Yep.
shape. It was my first time running a race as a guide for one of the visually impaired athletes.
That is awesome.
Wow, that's really
That's
cool.
amazing. Jennifer Cook. So, short-term goal is to get back to my one day at a time mentality that I had a good stretch of last fall. I remember that. That was really good. Lost it a bit around the holidays and now training for her first marathon. I need it more than ever. Absolutely. You can do it. Dawn Disney 2023. Dopey
Dawn
with
B.
my daughter.
Disney.
Oh, Dawn B. Disney. Oh. Dopey with my daughter. Y'all have inspired me. Yes. And then Alicia, Dopey 2023. I think everyone saw all of your videos from this weekend, Erin and Michael, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're doing it. We're in.
Yeah,
I love it.
A green life. I'm not sure we've met you. I hope you stick around, Alicia. I'll see you at Dopey 2023. Come hang out with us.
All right, so I'm going to run through the rest of these. Anna runs on coffee, our favorite oatmeal raisin type person. We started the year with a super fun marathon weekend, and now my goals are a fun Princess weekend and a fast Chicago marathon. I want to see how close I can get to my marathon PR this year. It's going to take a lot of training and possibly some weight loss. Ew.
You indeed.
Insert really random quick story. Michelle K. We saw her, and when we were
Yes.
hanging out with Anna, and the first words out of her mouth, because we said Maria and Anna, and she's like, "Oh, which one of them likes the oatmeal raisin cookies?"
She did actually say
It's
that.
so much fun.
Yes, it's amazing.
That's how everyone knows you. Sorry.
The web of trolling just never stops. All right, next is Codell _4571. Crystal. 2022 PR my 10K and half. 2023 PR my 10K and half. And 2024 marathon.
Nice.
Nice.
Good luck. This Phoenix runs, Tanya. I've got a goal in the new year to drink half my weight in ounces of water every day. And I've done it every single day. I'm
Awesome.
feeling more energy and having fewer junk cravings. If that's a placebo, I don't even care. Pass the agua.
Amen.
Yes.
Right? That's true.
Yep.
Amen. I loved everyone challenging each other to drink their water leading up to Dopey as well.
God.
I loved that. It was so fun.
Except that I'm so bad at it, and everyone kept tagging me. I'm like, guys, stop.
Nikki Well Fit 2022. Focus on nutrition and some weight loss, and get back into strength training. Really want to focus on my overall health and wellness again, both physically and mentally. Big picture goals that all lead to a better quality of life, and Dopey 2023 with Mouseketeer Mayhem.
And it is mayhem.
Wow.
So many Dopey 2023s, guys. So many.
I know.
Adventure to Paradise Falls. So Stephanie had a pretty decent 10K on marathon weekend despite not being fully prepared. My goal is to get consistent with training and go into Springtime Surprise Challenge feeling prepared and ready to crush it.
That sounds like a good goal. Stephanie, come hang out and meet us in Springtime Surprise. We'll all be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all be down there. Susie runs 50. I began running at age 48. My goal was to run an in-person half marathon in Disney by 50. However, COVID happened. This past weekend, I finally fulfilled my goal at age 52. Now I want to run a full in 2023 at age 53. Not Dopey, only the full.
Liar.
I'll need to pay a team to pace me and encourage me along the way like Oprah did. But I'll do it.
Oh.
Also, we're all going to convince Susie runs Dopey.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, Susie
runs
50.
Dopey.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it's going to be. Susie runs 50 is going to end up doing Dopey with all the rest of the Mouseketeer Mayhem crowd anyway, right?
Yeah, we ended up meeting her. She was so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and she's probably faster than I will be, but you can run with us, and we'll cheer you on.
She's
can
a
hear me-
party
you
at the
can hear
back
me
of the
complain.
packer with the rest of us, so
All right,
we'll all
I'll
be
take
at the
it.
back of the pack and hanging out and having fun.
A few more. Our friend Ryan runs Disney. Completed my 5th Dopey and 7th marathon and saw all the people. Now my next goal is to figure out what the heck is next.
There you go.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I saw on his Instagram
always
he's
the
not
question.
signed up for very much. He didn't really, beyond New York and Dopey, he didn't sign up for anything.
Yeah, because
so.
he had a big fall.
Yeah,
so,
you get that lost feeling after your big goals. You're like,
Yeah.
now what?
And then Jamie, our friend Jamie. Happy New Year, gang. Small goal of 1,100 miles for the year.
God.
First 15K is on the calendar, and I have a goal to become an idiot on 212. Fellowship of the Idiots is a 19.7 mile run with a 1,364 feet of incline and a 1,362 decline. The peak of the race is Morrow Mountain Summit.
Yeah, he asked me about signing up for this. I said, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I mean, you might as
I'm
well.
like, yeah.
I mean, come on.
God.
I mean, we're enablers. Why would you ask? Because in the end, he wanted to do it because
Yeah,
otherwise he
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
ask a bunch of enablers what he should do.
Yeah, I said just be prepared to recover because you're not used to running hills and stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know.
If you want someone to talk you out of something, message me instead.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was about to say, is that a trail race? And it's a
I'm not
mountain.
positive. I would assume it's at least some kind of trail up a mountain and back. I don't know. Unless it's on a road.
Like Mount Washington's a
Oh,
road
that's a
race.
good point.
so
Yeah,
you
I would.
never know.
Yeah, I'm not
It
positive.
looks like
Jamie,
it's
let
just
me know.
like straight up and straight down.
Yeah, but like
Pretty
Mount
much, yeah.
Washington's a road race, so it's
Yeah.
possible that it's a road race.
True.
Cool.
Do we have any others?
Nope, that was it.
That was a lot. That was awesome, guys. Thank you for sending that in. We're excited for the next year and running with everybody. So
Yeah.
keep running because when I see you guys do it, it makes me get out there because I'm like, oh, God, they're out there. I've got to do it.
Gotta
So
keep running.
I do really like the name of the race he's doing, Fellowship of the Idiots.
Oh, one quick shout out. Our friend Greg in Orlando, like the day after marathon, did Dopey in a day to raise money for cast member pantry.
Yeah.
So Greg's always doing
everything.
the
Yeah.
most.
I saw him on marathon course. He was out there cheering too, and I had no idea. Like we had texted a couple times the days before, leading up to the marathon weekend, and like he never mentioned it. I don't know whether I missed it on his Instagram. And the next thing I knew, I'm like watching his story where he's like, I'm starting my dopey in a day. I was like, wait a second, what?
Just overachiever.
Oh,
but that's
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah.
So do we want to get into our main topic?
Yes.
We did all of our talking at the beginning because we knew it would be
I
all
know.
you guys.
I don't want to. I don't want this to be super long. I feel like this episode's going to be another crazy long episode at this point.
It's fine. Give the people what they want. They've missed us.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is like Lord of the Rings.
So we
This is the extended edition.
So we missed a lot of the beginning because I only did Goofy, so I was only running Saturday, Sunday. But I did want to bring up the Expo ridiculousness.
First of all, we were talking about Disney Marathon Weekend 2022, since we never actually said that.
I just assumed the people knew.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm
just
sorry
in
if the
case.
people did not know.
Yeah.
But people, we were talking about the Disney Marathon Weekend 2022. So we didn't get to experience ourselves the Expo ridiculousness, but I would like to have a short conversation about the ridiculousness that was the Disney Marathon Expo. I know that the expos are usually crazy, but everyone who was there said it was even more ridiculous than it's ever been in the past. People were lined up by 4:30 in the morning.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, people were lined up by 4:30 in the morning. The merchandise is always coveted. For the 50th anniversary, they released a lot of stuff that had the iridescent stuff, and they announced that it was going to be super limited edition. So people were there. I personally had a couple people that I knew who were there by like 6:30ish, and the line was already really long because people got there at like 4:30. By the time it opened at 10, they didn't even get inside because it wrapped around the building. And then inside the building, there was another line that you had to go through. So they didn't even get into the expo for another hour after it opened because of where they were in the line. I got lucky that I had some friends there because they bought me some of the drinkware that I wanted because I wanted the mug and I wanted, there was a Corksicle water bottle that I wanted. So I had some friends who got me some stuff. By like 11:30, another friend of ours went into the expo and she said it was like dumpster diving because people had just pulled stuff off the racks and looking for their size, and instead of putting it back onto the rack when they didn't have their size, they just threw it on the ground.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
At some point it just became like dumpster diving and you just had to look on the ground to try and find your size and the things that you wanted.
How terrible. Like,
I just don't understand it.
It's so weird because people love it so much and they romanticize this whole experience so much, and then they act like animals.
Yeah. And then Zane sent me a picture at like, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the evening when he went after work, and it was just literally an empty expo floor. There was literally nothing left. There was like 2 T-shirts on one little rack, and that was the only thing that was there. And then they didn't restock most of it because all of it was limited edition. And then you could find the pins for like $100 on eBay and the Spirit jerseys for like $130, $150, $200.
yeah, it's really bad. I think it was a combination of a couple of things, right? Because it's like you got the resellers, right, who were doing that, but then there was also, I think, a lot of like shipping delays and stuff like that. So I think it was just like a combination of like these two terrible things.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's never been that bad. I don't understand. Maybe it is some shipping delays. I don't know. But I also just think it's Disney. Like, I don't understand why everything is so limited edition. And it's really not. It's always been this way. It's really not fair to the people who can't, like, are doing Goofy and don't plan to fly down until Friday. Because by Friday when we went, there was literally nothing left. There was nothing except for random Run Disney stuff. Like, none of the mugs were there. Like, nothing was there. There was, like, nothing.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Especially if you're doing your first marathon and you really are not planning to fly down until Friday or Saturday because like that's when you can't take time off from work, or you can only take the day after the marathon off, or whatever it is. So
yeah, because usually there's stuff the following days, and even when we've only done Dopey once, but we've done a ton of Run Disney stuff. And we always try and get to the expo kind of right when it opens, knowing that we're going to have to wait in line. But we've never waited in line to get into the expo more than like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I posted some of the videos of like when Susanna sent us that one video, and I put it onto she sent us the video in real time, and I sped it up a little bit. But like her video was over 2 minutes of her walking from like when she got to out of her car to where the line was, because it was so long.
Yeah. I've never. And I thought it was bad in 2018, and that was the year it was like 5 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And we had to wait outside in that freezing cold for so long.
Yeah. So I don't know. Run Disney, do better. I don't understand. It's not like, even if they wanted to like bring the expectation of like, oh my gosh, like it's coveted items, like they could do small releases each day and hype it for like all 4 days. Like I don't understand why it has to all be on that first day and then nobody can get anything.
And why would they even need to do limited merchandise for races they have 20,000 people doing? Like, why even do it like that?
They're losing out on money too, right? Because like they're letting people in who don't have bibs. So anybody in the general public, that's why they end up on eBay. Anyone in the general public can get into the expo and resell. So they're losing money because people obviously want to buy it. Like, even if you don't buy one for each person, even if you buy half the amount, for like, you're still you'd be doing better than what you're doing right now.
Yeah. I don't think people, like, at least for like, I don't know, the first few days of the expo, like maybe up until Saturday, unless you have a bib, you shouldn't be allowed in. Or it's like a bib person and like one guest.
Yeah. 100%. And they did these like bib, like where you could screenshot like your digital like expo pass to get in, so you didn't have to do like the waivers or whatever, so you could just screenshot all of your information on one thing. So like, you should have to have that and or some proof that you are running the race before to get into the expo. Like, it's not fair.
No.
So I don't know. I don't want to like overly rant about it, but like it stood out because of how extra ridiculous it was this time.
Well, I know it's a next year problem, but if I'm one and done for Dopey, and this will definitely be my first full marathon next year, I'm going to want all the crap.
Yeah, and it's the 10th anniversary of Dopey. I think that this year it's really, because that was what like Susanna, who's a perfect Dopey, has said, like, is this setting the precedence for like the rest of, like, is this what it's going to be? Like, do I have to be here next year at 4:00 in the morning in order to get my 10th year anniversary Dopey stuff? Like, I'm a perfect Dopey. I should like be able to get my stuff.
Yeah, and they didn't do a lot of pre-order for merch, did they?
This time, because the jackets, I think.
Yeah, because that's usually what I do. Like, I'll usually like pre-order jacket pins and like magnets.
Yeah.
Right, and then I always think of everything else as a bonus. But I was the same way. When I first did Dopey, I wanted all the Dopey crap, and because it's my second Dopey, I'm like, oh, we can just get there like whenever.
Versus Tom, who's going to want to be there.
It's Tom's first Dopey, yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't really know what'll happen next year. I don't think Run Disney listens to this podcast and or cares about my complaints, but I do plan on writing an email about it, and hopefully some other people do too. And maybe, I don't know.
Until it impacts them financially, until like the majority of people start boycotting this kind of stuff and they can't.
And that won't happen because everyone wants the stuff. And I know that, and you know that, and everyone who's listening knows that. So we'll see what happens next year.
All right. So what? Okay. So that was Wednesday.
Yeah, that was the Wednesday. We didn't actually get in until Friday. So we didn't do any of the craziness. We went to the expo Friday, and it was dead.
Which is perfect.
Which is how Michael likes it.
Yeah. In and out, 5 minutes. It was awesome.
Meanwhile, I met some of the Mouseketeer Mayhem crew that I became a part of through a costume idea. We did that. I met this Kelly from Sparkle Athletic. I went and hung out at the Sparkle Athletic area for a little bit and talked to Kelly, who was on our podcast. If you haven't listened to their episode, go back and find them. They're awesome. Then what did we do? Oh, we found Maria and Anna. We took some pictures with Susanna. We went to Disney Springs. We met some people over there.
Yeah.
With the Musketeer Mayhem again.
Lisa Knits and Trains came by.
I was just going to say, and then we saw Lisa Knits and Train just came by. Zane was there. We ate some. We had some Gideons.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to say it. Gideon's is overrated.
I was waiting for that.
You and Mark.
It's not really good. I mean, it's good.
You said it was good when you ate it?
No. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's not good enough to wait in line for.
I will say that. It's, they're like not.
Or like a
they're
2
not
hour
like
line.
real cookies.
Yeah.
They're not like.
Yeah, it's not a cookie.
Like it's not a cookie, in my opinion.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not a cookie. It's like I don't even know. It's like a cake. It kind of was like cakey to me. Yeah. I don't know. It was fine.
Good though.
It was fine.
There goes that sponsorship opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I understand why people like them.
Oh, yeah.
If you're into sweets, I'm also not a sweets person.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought it was good. It was peanut butter covered.
Oh, yeah. I dug
and,
it,
like
yeah.
lots of peanut butter chips, and it was delicious. But if I hadn't had somebody who happened to be going and had their time called at the moment that I was there, I probably would not have waited in line for that specific cookie. We saw Sam on Friday night from the Team Shenanigans crew.
Not Raymond.
Not Raymond.
The not Raymond. Yes, the not Raymond.
You make one mistake 17 times in one weekend, and
Oh,
nobody
my
lets you live it
God.
down.
Yeah, and then we went to bed. Well, we were on our feet a little longer than I'd planned. I got cranky. I know, that's surprising. And then I did Goofy, so I was up bright and early for half marathon morning, which I will say we stayed on a monorail resort, which I've never done before, and the monorail was awesome. And
Awesome.
I will forever want to stay at a monorail resort for the rest of my existence. So I will be booking Polly at
I was gonna
the
say,
DVC
I thought
11-month out window.
I thought you stayed at Polly. Was it amazing?
No,
we
we
stayed
at Bay Lake,
Lake.
unfortunately. Yeah.
This time, but just in general, taking the monorail over. I mean,
Super
there was
easy.
no one in
Yeah.
line. It was I got there at like 3:00. The monorail started at 2:30. At 3:00, I got there, and there was 3 people in my monorail car. There was like no line whatsoever. And then when we did the transfer at TTC, there was like, I don't know, 20 of us for one monorail. It was great. And then as we're like going over into Epcot, you see all the cars and the buses and the chaos. And we'd already gone through security, so that was different. We'll talk about that in a second. We'd already gone through security, so we didn't have to go through security again. And we just got off the monorail and started the walk. Something that was different this year, for the first time ever, the buses dropped off where the buses drop off for Epcot. Not over by the parking lot. They dropped where the buses drop for, and then
That's weird.
it's because they're utilizing the bagless technology from when you enter the parks now.
So they use the same.
So they're using the
security,
security. You know how normally you have to have your, like, if you have a bag line and then a non-bag line, and security goes through and like checks your bags. They're using the scanners that are over at the park. So you have to go through the bag check, and then you walk all the way over. So you now have a longer walk from the bus to the start area.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
slightly
God.
longer,
Yeah.
It is
Slightly. It's much longer if
yeah.
you're on the bus.
It is way easier though than what they used to do, where it was manual bag checks. I mean, I see why they changed it. It
Yeah.
makes
The
total
first
sense,
day at the 5K, we saw a bunch of lines. We weren't personally there, but we saw pictures of a lot of lines. So I think it took them a couple days
Just
to
figure
sort
it
of
out,
get
yeah.
like, and for like the runners themselves to figure out that they didn't need to stop moving
Yeah.
through the bag. line. So the first day it looked clogged. By the second day, it sort of the clogs had dwindled. By the third day, everyone said that they ran pretty smoothly. And by marathon morning, everyone was, I guess, used to it and or had heard about it. So everyone it ran much smoother by then.
Awesome.
So, but the walk from the buses through security and then all the way to the start is much longer now. So now you have that long walk and then the long walk from the staging area over to the
corral.
start.
Yeah, the corrals are far.
You're walking.
Yeah.
I had 5,000 steps before I even started the race.
Oy vey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of it, though. I mean, it's just is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why when I did Dopey, I was having meltdowns like every single day, screaming that I needed to get off my feet.
Yeah.
Like I was nasty on Saturday about it. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's how I even got on Friday a little, because I had wanted to be back at the hotel by like 6:37, and we didn't get back until like 8:00, and I was just like annoyed because I knew I had to get up so early, and like I had never been at the monorail resort, so I wasn't even 100% sure that it was gonna run as smoothly as it did. I mean, now that I saw it, I probably didn't need to worry as much as I did. But
yeah, it's an unknown.
At that point, it was an unknown. So I was like, I want to make sure I'm there early and I'm out the door by 2:45 and walking over towards the monorail. You slept until 6 a.m.?
It was around then. Then I walked out front, watched them as they came down the road past Contemporary. Then I hopped on the monorail, headed over to the Polynesian, and walked over to Cone Alley. Hung out there, shot some video over there, as everybody probably saw on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Gave Maria advice there.
What did you just want to traumatize everyone by seeing them at Cone Alley when they're already stressed out right there?
It was
like
close,
it's like
yeah.
where's like the most inconvenient place for me to see somebody?
It was, he was over by Shades.
Yeah, I was right by Shades.
Okay,
We were
okay.
back where, like, yeah, I was
Gotcha.
going to say we were past where Cone Alley actually is. But yes. And then you were in Epcot again.
Then I
yes.
hopped over to Epcot.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people, though, the whole way. Saw the Ohana crew, saw these guys. Ryan runs Disney. He didn't hear me. He has headphones in. Or he didn't hear me, one or the other.
Or he's ignoring
Yeah,
you.
he ignored me. He was like, oh, Jesus, there's
There's
dude.
that guy.
There he is. I saw a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Then I made it over to Epcot, and I decided to go in, and I went over by Imagination, where I saw everybody again. Mm-hmm. And as Maria was coming over...
Oh, I was going to... Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to go back a little bit before we got to, like...
I'm just watching Jack eat your hair. Or
Yes,
Ollie.
he does that.
Ollie. It's
Yeah, he
Ollie
licks
eating
the
my
hair. Yeah.
Yes, he does that regularly. Yeah, backtracking a little bit to before you saw us. When we started the race, so we had the Mouseketeer Mayhem. There was 40-ish women dressed as Mouseketeers with our blue sparkle skirts, our tank tops that had our name on it, and our Mouseketeer ears. It was quite the spectacle. We danced at the start line with the DJ. The DJ played the Mouseketeer song for us. We're still trying to retrieve the video that he took from the stage of it. And then there was, for this race, this race and the marathon, there were 6 start groups. So, which Wine and Dine had 4 start groups. We had 6. So S1 through 6. My group was in S3. The corral, so S3 was a very long corral, like as far as like amount of space that was in it. So when you walked into the corral, you walked very far to get to like where all the people actually were. So that gave us our strategy for the next day. We knew that we wanted to be all the way up in the corral. We started with a small group of us. I think there was like 5 or 6 of us from the Mouseketeer group. Along the way, like it was kind of like running with the old Team Shenanigans group, where like people ran up for pictures, and then there was group pictures with like 20 of us, and then some group pictures with like 5 of us, and some group pictures with 4 of us, depending on who was like where. I specifically ran with Susanna, Anna, and Maria, and our friend Mal for a lot of it. Mal was doing a lot of the run-ups. We tried to tell Anna where Michael was going to be over at Contemporary. Anna completely missed Michael and still doesn't believe to this day that Michael even was there.
Oh, she wasn't there? I don't remember. I saw you guys like 4 times.
Oh my God.
I didn't
So it doesn't
mark
even
off on
matter
my
that
card.
Anna doesn't remember that you were there because...
I didn't remember she wasn't there.
Well, she never saw you. Anyway, so Anna never saw him. We ran. We saw him. So at some point, at that point, Maria decided that Michael was now her husband. I'm not sure how this transition happened. We went from enemies to frenemies to besties to being married.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. That's what happens with Tom and I.
Yeah, happens.
So then she kept screaming for her husband the whole time.
I love it.
We ran through Magic Kingdom as we do. We saw Michael at Shades, where he took a very nice video and gave Maria lots of life advice about moving forward.
Now, is this race you're talking about? Is this the half?
This is the half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so then when we got to Epcot, this is where Michael was about to start his story. When we got to Epcot, I texted Michael and said, we're entering the Epcot area. Your wife is going to come up to you. Not me. Totally Maria. And so Michael was standing there waiting. And did you or her yell husband or wife?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember who said what. But, yeah, I don't know. They started coming over, and all I hear is...
We're screaming.
Yeah, they were screaming.
Yeah.
And all I heard was, oh, from behind, one of the cast members behind me. And I'm like, that was weird. So we were goofing around, talking.
So Maria gives Michael a big hug.
Yeah. And they head off, and I'm like, all right, let me go quick because they were in Epcot, and I wanted to get to the finish line before they did. So as I'm leaving, the lady's like, oh, I'm so glad you got to see your wife. And I'm like, thank you.
You can't at that
I'm
point.
like, thank you.
It's also really funny to me because her husband is such a delight.
Yeah.
He is.
Her
He's so
real
nice.
husband.
Yes.
He's
yes.
so great. He's much less of a curmudgeon.
Yeah, we saw him a couple times.
Oh man.
And we hung out with him a little bit. Yeah, it was so funny. Because then I'm like, what's going to happen when you go to Epcot with your actual husband and that cast member sees you with your actual husband and is like, wait a second. And is very confused.
Oh God.
Cast members aren't here to judge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did make it to the finish to see them
Yeah.
come across. So there was that.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to put Maria's medal on her at the half. We crossed with some of the other Mouseketeers. It was Susie runs 50. She finished her first half. We saw her when we entered Epcot. We saw her, so we ran with her and a couple other friends for a little while, and then they went off and finished the half with who she had been with the whole time. Yeah, we failed out a finish line picture. I don't know what happened, but there was a big group in front of us. And so, right when we decided that it was time to cross, you can't see us in any of our finish line pictures for the half marathon.
I hate when that happens.
So we're like, I kind of saw it happening as it was happening, but it was too late to do anything because we'd already started moving forward. But there was 4 people in front of us. I'm like, none of these pictures are going to come out. So the next day, the first words out of my mouth were, tomorrow for the marathon, we have to do a much better job at this finish line photo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun race. It was we did a lot of more character stops that day. Just because there was more people on course to be able to move forward with. We sort of made plans for the next day. It's just going to be the 4 of us. We're going to make sure we're in the start corral super early and ignore all the rest of the noise. So we wanted that day to sort of be the day that if we were going to see people, enjoy people on course, that was going to be the day we were going to do it.
Yeah, and after the half, that's when I ran into Bob from Rise and Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Met him at the finish line. You got to meet him.
Yeah, as soon as I crossed the finish line, he was like, come here. I was like, what? He's like, if you want to go meet Bob, he's over there. And I looked over, and there's this just really tall guy. I was like, oh, that's gotta be him.
I was like, yeah, it's a really tall guy over
be
there.
him.
Yeah. It's like you'll be able to see him pretty easily.
Yeah, I turned around, and it was very clear who Bob was. So that was funny.
So, yeah, I had a lot of fun race chasing. I really enjoyed that quite a lot. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Being at the monorail resort was a lot easier. I was able to hit so many different points for the half that it was really, really great to do. I highly recommend that.
Oh, yeah, because you walk, after you did Shade, you walked back to TTC, and then just got on the monorail to Epcot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was our half day.
For the full, I had the crazy idea that I was going to run a sub 4 full marathon.
He started talking about this like a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention it to people because I was like, this is the craziest thing
dumb.
I've heard in a long time. I'm like,
I haven't run that much recently.
And this is what I was thinking to myself. Like, since he blew up at Batona, he hasn't really run that much. I don't think he's trained for this. But then he did Space Coast in like a sub 2. So I was like, that's still not equivalent to a sub 4.
No, it's
but
definitely not. Yeah.
Maybe he can pull something out of his hat that I don't know he has.
Yeah, because he kind of pulled Space Coast out of his hat. Like, that kind of came out of nowhere.
I agree. Yeah. So I was like, maybe.
Although, you see what you needed? You needed to run from embarrassment.
And we were way too far behind him for that. So
yeah. So, but I was like, but then the weather, like we started seeing the weather forecast, and it was like, I don't know, this is probably not going to work out in my favor. Because even in the morning, it was still pretty sticky out there.
Yeah. So Saturday, I will say, was
beautiful out.
It was warm. But the morning was cooler, so it started out at 55 versus marathon morning started out at 60, like 3. So it was almost 8 to 10 degrees cooler. And marathon morning or half marathon morning had less humidity. When we woke up on marathon morning, it was 89% humidity. So
wow.
I knew it was going to be a tough morning. So you gave up the sub 4 pretty quickly?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the weather forecast, I was like, if in like the first 3 or 4 miles I can't get to the pace I need, I'm like, well, then I'm just scratching it because it's going to be too warm after that anyway. So I was like, I'll see what I am there, and then after that, I'll just kind of wing it and see. But little did I know, I also probably had COVID at the time.
Oh my God.
So that probably didn't help matters.
And even if he was going to fight off COVID, he lost all his chances of possibly his immune system being like, yes, we got this. And then he killed it.
Yeah. So
I don't know
that. Yeah.
anyone who's ever done dopey come back healthy.
Well, that's true. That's another whole.
Yeah, because you just shred it.
You just destroy your immune system.
Yeah. Because not only are you just doing the amount of miles, because like you could probably do that amount of miles
tired,
in one time, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so if someone does a 50-miler while you're killing your immune system, it's one wake up. You're waking up for 4 mornings in a row, and even Goofy,
at
2 mornings in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning to be on a monorail or a bus by like 2:45.
Yeah,
and you're just around so many people.
Yeah,
that too.
So like it's just all of that combined.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
So how did your race go?
Yeah, mine will be quicker. So I started out, and I'm like, all right. I wasn't even really looking at my watch the first mile or so. I just ran, didn't look at my watch at all. And then when the mile would kick off, I would just see what pace I ran to see where I was, because I didn't want to run to a pace. I wanted to run for comfort and see what that pace was.
Okay.
And I looked, it was like 9.
That's actually smart.
Yeah, and it was like 9:40 or something like that, and you need like 9:09 for 4 hour. So I was like, all right, well, that's fine, the first mile. And, you're just starting out, all that. I was in S1, so it wasn't really crowded or anything.
He was S1.
There was nobody there. It was nice and open. But then after 3 miles, I was still only like 9:30-ish the whole time, and I was like, all right, this is it. It's not going to happen. I was like, that's fine. I'll just I'll go as long as I can around here and just try and have a good, consistent day, because I haven't run that far in a long time. since Batona, I guess. Other than a half, and I think I ran a 15-miler or something in the woods by myself. But it went pretty well. It got a little warm at the end. Around mile 20, I kind of started struggling. I was in the 10s pretty long, and then I started hitting 11s, and then it started getting warm. And then, honestly, the last 5 miles, I was like, ugh, I don't really want to, overdo it either. So I started run walking most of it, and just to get to the end and not feel terrible. So I was pretty happy with it. I ended up sub 5, so I was like, whatever.
That's awesome.
I was
That is
fine with
pretty
that.
good for. But I mean, you started out under with sub 10s, right? You said.
Yeah, I mean, I was sub 10s for the first 14 miles,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
But once
Did you stop for characters or anything?
No.
Okay.
I did but towards the end, I was like, I don't really have any goal, so I'm like, I want it to feel good 2 days later because I thought I was going to be going to Orange Theory. Little did I know I wouldn't be. So also, it was actually probably good that I slowed down anyway for my health in the end. So it had a positive effect in both ways because there was really no time goal between 4 and 5 for me. It really didn't matter. I was like, whatever. I'm just going to enjoy it.
And how warm was it?
It was already getting pretty warm by then. I mean, I was done before 10 o'clock, so it wasn't that warm. But it was,
I mean, it hit 83, I think.
yeah.
So, and the humidity never really
It was
went
very humid,
away. I will say the one big difference between 2020 and 2022 is that
Breeze,
there was
yeah.
a breeze. In 2020, it was like stiflingly hot and there was zero air movement. It was still really hot, but there were moments where, like, if you had water and you poured it on yourself, the breeze cooled you back down a little bit before it dried. You had that moment of where the breeze kind of feels good because your skin is cool from the water. So that helped. I think.
The hardest, I would say the worst section of the course is, and I'm sure it was for everyone, is between Blizzard Beach and Hollywood Studios.
It's the worst.
It's harsh.
That's where Erin found me crying.
Well, so you didn't do so. Well, so yeah, you did most of that because you turn. You turn for your dopey. You turn left immediately.
Yeah.
You come up a ramp and then you turn left to go straight to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
We
Turn right.
the last 2 marathons because 2020 is when they changed the course.
Oh,
you went
gotcha.
First, you went right. In 2020, you went straight into Blizzard Beach parking lot, did a little bit of Blizzard Beach, unless you got black flagged.
Yeah.
And then came out and then went to Hollywood Studios. So you had a little bit of a longer stretch from Blizzard Beach. This year, we did an out and back on the roadway, went into Blizzard Beach, ran around the parking lot for a very short amount of time, and then came back out of Blizzard Beach.
And then hit that road, which is a grind. Yeah.
And then
that road is terrible.
It is harsh.
it's between there and to get into Hollywood is rough.
Yeah. When I came out of there, I was like, man, this part of the road sucks.
Honestly,
I was like, and my foot was starting to hurt and stuff, and I was like, I'm just I'm a little bit over this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just run walk from here because this is a rough stretch.
now, because you have did you put the courses on the show notes? Was there something specific you wanted to talk about with the courses?
No, I just put topics up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I will say, since they changed the course in 2020 and this year is pretty similar, I'm pretty sure it was almost exactly the same course as 2020, other
Yeah,
than the
it
Blizzard
seems
Beach
pretty
part.
much exact.
I used to hate Diana. Do you remember the out and back? You come out of the poop plant area, right? And then you turn right, and you do a long out and back
I hated that.
on that one road, and then you go into
that one's
make
bad.
the right into go to Animal Kingdom. I actually don't know what is worse because the way you come back out of Animal Kingdom now, you come out of Animal Kingdom the same way you went in. Instead of going around the parking lot, you come back out that way, which feels like it's forever, and then you make that right-hand turn. That now takes you all the way to Blizzard Beach, and you're on that road forever.
That's true. That's a
That
grindy
road
stretch too,
is
yeah.
that whole thing from when you come out of Animal Kingdom all the way to Hollywood Studios, because you go down that road forever, and then you go to Blizzard Beach, and then you go to Hollywood Studios, that has to be the longest stretch, and there is no shade there at all.
Yeah, later in the race, that's a rough area.
I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way I think is worse, the Animal Kingdom parking lot into ESPN or...
Honestly, yeah, that's
I feel like
bad
ESPN broke things up, though.
I don't think so.
Because at least when you went
ESPN was terrible.
Because I hated ESPN, but...
See, everyone, and I think maybe I went in with such terrible expectations because everyone always talked about how bad ESPN was. But because I guess people were doing that when I did it, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I think it's because everyone was talking about it. But it was also freezing the year I did it. So I was cold the entire time.
What I'll say is bad about what was bad about ESPN is if you were near a pace group, it was unbearable in ESPN. Unbearable. Because it is so tight that if you get near one of those pace groups and they're run walking and you're not,
you can't get around them
or
at all.
you're doing something, you're completely effed for the whole place. And they're big groups and the walkways are small in there. ESPN was terrible.
Yeah, but I would say that about a lot of like other places. Like Blizzard Beach would have been an even worse place.
Inside the park is
that
bad.
That would have been really bad. Like there's a lot of places that you get behind a pace group and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, even on the road, I will say we encountered, I think, the 630s on the Poop Plant Road.
Yeah.
And there were so many people in that group.
Yeah,
it was huge. That we were over on in the corner, the four of us trying to just stay over to the side so that we didn't get run over.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another part of the reason why I slowed down even because there was like a 4:30 group right near me, and I was like, and I went back and forth with them 3 times, and I'm like, I don't have the mental energy for this right now. I'm like, I'm not running for anything specific, so I'm just going to let them go ahead and just ease back because this is just going to aggravate me for no reason. So, I want to enjoy the race. So, but they weren't big or anything like that. And the road is pretty cool, pretty big to get around people. So, but I was not a fan of Wide World. So, I prefer it the way it is, but those roads are tough.
Anything else about your race before? I don't want to steal any thunder before we move
No, I finished. I sat around, had a beer, and I forgot to put sunblock on at the end and got sunburned.
Oh, I didn't realize you had a beer. Did you use one of the cups that we had brought?
I did. I had a beer 2 hours before you got there.
Oh,
and then I was like, I can't have another beer because I don't feel that great.
No, because at that point you probably had COVID and didn't realize it?
Yeah, there was that.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Our plan, I had, as we know, had always planned to run with Perfectly Imperfect Maria, and Anna Runs on Coffee, and Dopey Disney Runner, Susanna, Anna, and Maria. It was Maria's first marathon, her first Dopey. We went into it kind of with the plan that we were going to all get on the earliest buses, monorails, whatever we could find, and get over. I gear checked, and we immediately started walking to the corrals. We didn't even meet up in the start area. We just immediately started walking to the corrals. Susanna got there first. She was so good that she got so far up the corral that we were I don't know, maybe 4 people back from where the start area, the end of our corral was. And then she laid out a Mylar blanket and a regular blanket and just parked herself there so that we would have space for all 4 of us when we got there. I got there right after. I made my way up there, and then Maria and Anna did. Michael was in S1, so he came and stood outside the corral for a couple minutes just to say hi to us before he went off. Maria's plan was to do 10-second, 30-second intervals. So 10 seconds of walking, 10 seconds of running, 30 seconds of walking, which is something I had never done before. And I will say, as a person who does an interval, was challenging, just because I'm not trained to walk that much. She had her intervals on her run keeper, so it yelled at us to go steady when we were supposed to run and go slow when we were supposed to walk. So it didn't say run, walk. It said steady and slow.
Oh, interesting.
So along the way, at some point when we were all delirious, we started dating when we were going steady and then breaking up every time we were walking. So we were delirious. I don't really know. We made jokes to keep ourselves going. We were not stopping for characters. Our goal was to get to that finish. I don't really know. I will say a lot of this is a blur for me. Susanna and Anna and Maria and I have talked about this a few times now. I don't remember a lot of this course. Our plan was to, with the 10-second 30s, we knew it was going to be kind of slow. Anna and I had kind of talked previously. Maria is probably finding out a lot of this for the first time. Our goal was, we knew the balloon ladies were not going to be super far behind us because they've gotten way too efficient at releasing these corrals. And we were a little, not worried, but like we just knew we needed to move immediately. So our goal was to make sure we were under 16-minute miles for the first 10 miles. That was like kind of where we were in our heads. We need to make those 10 seconds as efficient as possible and then walk what we now have called lovingly expo pace, because it's like when you would need to get to the expo and there's like thousands of people trying to get to the expo and you've got to beat them there. You got to walk at expo pace. So our walks were jokingly called expo pace the whole time.
Here's a question. How bad did your hips hurt? Like all collectively from walking at that pace?
Yeah.
Because I think that's worse than running.
Yeah. I mean, we did a good job. We kept we had a couple like miles in there where we were like 14:30, 14:50, 15:30s. Obviously, Run Disney, for whatever reason, my watch is like always so far off. I think I had like 27.6 miles by the end. And while I did go back and forth a little, there's so much moving around and weaving and all kinds of stuff. And the roads are, and then when you're going through Magic Kingdom, the roads aren't really roads. So like, I don't know what the tangent would even be in there. Yeah, I don't know. So you just end up with so much over. So at every mile marker, I had my phone and I would plug in the total time with the distance that we were at to get what our actual average pace was. And so through about mile, I'd say 12, 13, we were keeping under 16-minute pace, which was sort of our goal. So we did a really good job. And then the heat came on and it got slower. And Maria's feet hurt, and my feet hurt, and Susanna's feet hurt, and Anna's feet hurt, and we were just in a lot of pain.
Yep.
I don't know. It was just a lot of fun, though. We did have a lot of fun on course. I mean, like, I can't tell you a lot of, like, specifics because I feel like it's just a lot of blur to me for whatever reason. My goal was to always seem like I was having fun. I will say one of the things that was the hardest for me was my feet hurt more than they've ever hurt in my entire life. I don't know how I've never had foot pain like this. Like they ached so much. And I still tried to dance through it.
I'm so proud of you.
To keep Maria
keeping that rhythm.
Keep Maria kind of going. There were sponges on course. Ice saved us right after Blizzard Beach. They had big bags of ice. Then we watched a police biker fall on the ground when he wiped out. He was riding his bike, and I don't know. You just see him in front of us skid and wipe out onto the grass median, and he embraced it. because he knew it was happening and that there was hundreds of runners around him and there was nothing he could do about it. So he did like this flip cartwheel thing onto the ground and put his hands behind his head and like laid out like I meant to do this. And everyone was laughing at him. And the other officers that were with him came and started taking selfies. So Anna and Susanna ran up and started like trying to get behind it so that they could be in his selfie. It was a lot of ridiculousness. I would say the thing I wanted to bring up the most is the balloon lady paranoia that runs rampant through the back of the pack.
Oh, yeah. You're usually not back there.
Well, no, I am.
It's bad.
No, I am, because I've always done like a 7:30 plus marathon. But I think this was the first time I've ever like experienced it in like a real way, like where it's not that I was back there because I was having fun and I knew that I'd be able to run ahead. The thing about the balloon lady paranoia is it's a false narrative. And I'm here to tell you how much of a false narrative it is. And when we were coming out of Blizzard Beach, so Maria, even the day before, there was a little bit where we saw Maria get in her head a little bit about the balloon ladies and people being like, "Oh, we got to go." Someone came up to us halfway, part of the way through where were you at? Where is Shades of Green?
Like
Mile
7
marker.
something.
Yeah. And somebody had run by us and was like, "You guys have to move. The balloon ladies are right there." First of all, they weren't right there. And then Maria got like a little upset about it, like, and we had to keep moving her forward. Like they're not as close as you think they are. We have plenty of time. You're fine.
Well, and also there was like 2,000 people between you and the balloon ladies.
Probably more than that.
Like
Yeah,
you
I mean,
can't
it was
sweep
insane.
2,000 people.
After seeing your videos, I was like, my God, it's fine.
It was a solid wall of people for like a half a mile or a mile. I'm like, you're not sweeping that many people. They don't have enough buses. Like,
Yeah.
That's not logistically going to happen.
Yeah. And I guess maybe while I knew it was there, I don't know that I understood it until this race.
Oh, we experience it a lot. And then people have these like false narratives. Like, and Tom thought it was so funny the first time he did his first half because people just make up shit stuff. People just make up stuff
in their heads.
So they'll be like,
yeah.
If you get into Epcot, you're safe. If you get to this point, you're safe. And you're technically not safe anywhere. They'll sweep you on a golf cart if they have to. Like,
and that's rarer once you get to Hollywood Studios. Like, the goal really should be to get to Hollywood Studios. The buses themselves obviously can't get you into there. The part of the false narrative, though, is in both directions, right? So, to me, what people don't realize is like the balloon ladies are never as close as you think you are when you start out. Like, unless you. They started. I will say they started 29 minutes after the start, which is the most ridiculous and shortest amount of time they have ever started for the marathon. Because even when they started 45 minutes behind us in 2020, everyone was like in shock that they started so quickly. So to start 29 minutes, we had a 24-minute buffer, and that was it.
yeah.
Now, a 24-minute buffer, if you're keeping a 16-minute pace, they're never going to catch you if you're keeping a 16-minute pace. Now, if you can keep a sub-16 through more than half the marathon, you would really have to drop pretty drastically for them to catch you if you're continuously moving.
Yeah. Or if you decide you want to stop for
have
stuff,
fun,
or you
yes,
want to try,
which is a totally
try
different
for Everest.
Exactly.
And
totally different dynamic, though, when you talk about that.
I'm always slightly concerned about the balloon ladies, but I've actually had the balloon ladies pass me because I've been in line for like a photo and had to run to get in front of them. Like, I almost got cut off at my first 10K and had to like run like out of breath.
And again, that's like, we weren't planning to stop. So I never was in fear of them. I was always checking our time. We would talk.
Makes it easier.
And you can ask Maria, we talked so loud. Anytime we heard the word balloon ladies, Anna, Susanna, and I started singing because we did not want to hear about the balloon ladies. I did not want the word balloon ladies around us. I just our goal was to block out all the noise about that. Anyway, so
Yeah, when you're in the back and you're slow, that's all you talk about.
Well, yes. And so when we came out of Blizzard Beach, the balloon ladies, we saw the balloon ladies going in. Now there's almost a full mile between when you enter and when you exit. So like there's still 16. Yeah. It's a little less than. There's still at least 16 minutes behind, around 16 minutes behind you, and you're at mile 22, and we're still keeping like a 30 to a 17-minute pace. It would take a lot for them to catch you at that point.
You would have to stop or something.
So we see the buses come, because now the buses are the sweeper buses are coming down. And again, there's these people freaking out that next to us about like how these other people had been just talking about how the balloon ladies are going to catch them. And I start talking to them. I'm like, guys, stop. Don't worry about it. And I like logically said how far they are behind you and what kind of pace you would have to drop to for the last like 4 miles in order for them to catch you. And they were like, thank you so much for saying that, because I was like literally just about to have a heart attack. I'm like, you would literally have to start going at least a 20-minute mile or less.
Yeah.
And
now, if they're like right behind you, that's different.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying where we were in the pack the whole time, there was not as much need for the paranoia that was happening around us.
Yeah.
It's not like Tom's first Wine and Dine marathon, and he said, I just don't want to get caught by the balloon ladies. And I said, don't turn around, because they were 20 feet behind us.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we walked into Epcot.
We were talking to the balloon ladies.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
with,
like an
we
hour.
were with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are our friends.
Anyway, so we got to Hollywood Studios, and once we got to Hollywood Studios, I said to Maria, this is where you can enjoy and relax a little bit. We don't have to go at the exact like 16-minute pace. Like that was my goal, was to get to Hollywood Studios, knowing that if we slowed down to an 18 to a 19-minute mile, as long as we had kept a decent pace, that like we could walk it in a little bit more, because they weren't going to catch us, because we would really have to start doing like a 20 to 21 minute pace for them to fully catch us at that point.
Yeah.
So we saw some friends. We cried a lot through those last miles. There was a lot of tears. Every time Maria saw somebody on course, she just started crying. Every single time someone yelled her name, she started crying. We got to the boardwalk, and there was people there that get to give us hugs. She started crying. We got to Epcot. We saw a huge group of people. She started crying. The choir was back, which they weren't there last time.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah,
we sat and danced with them for, I don't know, it was like a good 2-minute dance with them.
Yay!
While they sang. So that was really awesome. We got to the finish. Jeff Galloway was at the finish. We were taking a selfie with him. And that's when we saw the balloon ladies, because we had slowed down quite a bit to have some fun and let her enjoy it. And Anna's thing was, we've run away from them for this long. We have to cross the finish line before them so that Maria can say, I finished before the balloon ladies. So we finished literally maybe 30 seconds before those balloon ladies.
I love it. Yay!
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's so good.
amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Oh.
So it was.
I'm so glad you got to enjoy that last little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For being stressed the whole time.
I told her the day before, I sent Maria a message, and I'm like, look, you don't think about anything tomorrow. The only thing you have to think about is walking fast and then trusting the three of them. I said, you don't need to know anything about time or balloon ladies or anything else, because they're going to keep track of it.
Yeah.
So you just go. That's it. That's all you're doing tomorrow, is just walking or running or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, don't even worry about running fast. I said, just worry about walking a little faster.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you got to do.
And Maria was like, did you know Michael has a heart?
Aw. Like the Grinch. He grew 3 sizes that day.
I had so much fun watching not just them finishing, but I was at the finish line for the last hour of the race. So I saw everybody coming through.
So many first-time marathoners, I'm sure.
Tons of first-time people, first-time dopies, first-time marathons. People.
The amount of motion that goes, yeah.
And you can tell the difference. There's people coming through with their drinks who don't look all that tired because they've done a bunch, but they're enjoying it. But then there's the people coming through that have just given everything and are getting there.
Yeah.
And it's really great to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Shout out to Mark and Zane, who got me a margarita at the end. and our Musketeer group who got me a margarita at the end. So then I came double fisting through the last.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah, it was super fun. I will tell you that I have done a lot in my life, in my own like running accomplishments, but I don't honestly think there's anything more rewarding. I really don't. Nothing I have done can compare to the few times that I have helped somebody get to a finish line in some capacity, whether it's pacing somebody to a PR or watching Maria finish her first dopey, and I will not cry, even though I'm about to. It was just spectacular.
The FOMO was real. And the video that you posted, I think, Michael, you took the video where, like, you guys finally come through and you get the medals, and, like, I think, was it Anna?
No, I gave her Goofy medal since I was doing Goofy, and then Anna, the Dopey alum, gave her Dopey medal.
Just seeing her overcome with emotion, like, that was the culmination of a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
we had no idea Michael was taking a video of it. We had no idea. So, like, when we all saw it afterwards, we all had another huge cry fest. We cried so much. It was, like, so emotional.
And that's all Tom wanted when I finished my race.
That's all. That's exactly what I wanted.
And he just got belligerent.
Instead, she ran up to me and said, "Go get me a beer." And then we left immediately.
Oh, God.
That's funny. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so proud of just everybody who finished in the heat, got up early. You guys killed it. And I don't know, you just inspire me every single day. I'm so proud of everybody.
Yeah.
Amazing. And yay, I'm so glad we got to talk to Marie. I was such a lazy piece of crap on Sunday. Like, Erin texted me just as like a check-in, and I was like, "Oh, I'll call you guys." I'm literally still in bed. It was 9:30 in the morning. Like, it was like I just woke up.
Yeah.
Like,
It was funny because it was like 8:00 in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, I'll text Tom and Diana." And I looked at my phone. I was like, "It's 8:00. I bet you Diana's not even awake yet." I like literally said it out loud too. Like, you can ask them. I was like, "I don't even think Diana's gonna be awake yet, so I'm not even gonna text her yet."
yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, you guys should FaceTime with us." So we got a delightful treat of Diana and Tom FaceTiming with us as we were coming out of the Animal Kingdom stretch. And Tom sang to us because I had just previously been talking about how doing races with Tom is amazing because he does these great sing-alongs. And so as soon as we got him on FaceTime, I was like, "Tom, sing to us." And he did. He sang.
He obliged.
He sang the Moana song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It
great.
was awesome. So we were so glad we got to be there, at least virtually.
Maria was super excited to see you guys. We did the same thing with Michael a couple times. So, yeah. That was my race. It was super amazing, and it was definitely a race I'll never forget. The whole weekend was super memorable, and I'm super emotional and a mess all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You talk about community, right? Like, and this is one of the actual good things about social media because we could live vicariously through you all. And there were so many different groups of people down there. Like, I know Jay Hall was down there with some folks.
Yeah, I saw her on course.
Like, Dana and Amy.
Yep, they did the 10K.
Yeah, but they went like live on Facebook or something, and I jumped into that chat, and like it was just so cool to be connected to so many people doing something that they were really excited that came back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's really cool. It was really cool.
And I ran with strangers from the internet. Like, literally a year ago, I had no idea who Maria was.
That's true, actually, weirdly, yeah.
So for as much as I sometimes hate scrolling through all the social media BS, social media also brings together this amazing community. So
It's weird. I technically actually never met Anna before this weekend.
Yes.
That's odd. It's weird to think about.
yeah.
I don't know if I've met her in person. Have I? I don't think I have.
No, I was the only one who had met her before this because I went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she hasn't been around at anything.
That's true.
It is weird to think about. And even the rest of the community that we don't get to see that often. I mean, you said, mentioned Jay Hall. I saw her in course. We mentioned Michelle K that we saw. Obviously, we met Lisa Knits and Trains.
Yep. Did we say Greg from Rise and Run was on our flight?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know that we mentioned it here because we talked about it prior to
before the show. Yeah,
show. We started recording. Greg from Rise and Run came up to me at the airport and was like, this might be weird, but are you Erin from Will Run For? I was like, I am. That was my first celebrity sighting. Michelle K, we saw her, right, in Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And her friend Allison was with her. What was her girl without tattoo?
With no tattoo?
No tattoo?
I think so.
On Instagram. And apparently she follows the podcast and listens because we saw Michelle and then the girl she was with didn't really say much to us, which was fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, we were just meeting.
We were just talking to Michelle. And then Michelle K comes back up to us later and she's like, I was telling my friend Allison that, these are my friends. They have a podcast. She's like, oh, what podcast? Oh, We'll Run For. She's like, oh, that's Erin and Mike? And they just it was like, I was like, oh, people listen to us.
I swear. It's crazy. So, quick plug, though, for all of those people that haven't been on Inside the Runner Studio.
Yes, yeah.
If you would like to be on an Inside the Runner Studio episode, we're looking for people. Just shoot us a note and we'll get you scheduled because we love to meet people in this community.
Yeah, that's the best part.
We only have one in the bank.
Yeah, so we got to get recording.
Yeah, we gotta
get recording.
We haven't recorded a lot recently.
Oh my God. In the Inside the Runner Studios are really the only time I actually do any actual work for this thing because it's really what I'm interested in. I actually do have an idea for trivia.
Ooh.
So when we get not talking for 2 hours,
well, we'll have
we can do another trivia
next time. So.
Yeah, nice.
No, I was actually inspired to want to do Dopey, but then I think about it and I'm like, I really loved being at the finish line and watching.
I don't know.
Too.
Maria's expecting you to do Dopey.
I mean, I can do both. I can be at the finish line.
That's
and
true.
do
I mean,
Dopey.
you ran the.
Yeah.
We'll see. See. This is the thing, right? So I had said to Michael when I was thinking more about the weekend, I was like, Michael doesn't like to run with us, so I'm not even sure.
I wouldn't run with you guys.
What
at
the
all,
point of him
no.
doing Dopey would be. Like the reason why I want to do Dopey, even though I want nothing to do with Dopey, is because I want to experience it with my friends. Right? Michael's going to run off on his own.
I experienced it with my friends
just
differently.
In a different way. No,
Yeah.
I meant the actual races themselves, to do Dopey itself.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Actual races themselves.
I don't want to experience that with you
Yes,
guys. No,
that's what I'm saying.
I do not blame you in the slightest. If I was faster, neither would I.
That's what I'm saying.
Sounds like if I could physically run away from you people, I would.
Anything else from the race?
Oh, my rant, make smaller bibs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh God, we don't have time for we don't have time for your rant.
No, that was it. That was the end of the rant. They're too
Okay.
stupidly big. They don't fit on
I
your.
don't disagree.
Yeah, they don't fit on anything. Can we fix this, please?
Normalize smaller bits.
Yes, please. They're just hard to run with. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, so do we want to end this extra long episode with something good?
Something good other than you freaking rock stars finishing that race. When I was sick and dying a couple weeks ago, we binged everything that was possible to binge. I've never watched so much television in my entire life. Everything over the last couple of years where you guys have told us to watch, Ted Lasso and all that great stuff. We watched all of it and thought it was fantastic. But I think my favorite thing that we watched was Schmigadoon. It's on Apple TV.
Oh, yeah.
It's only 6 episodes. If you are into musical theater, you will love it. If you are not into musical theater, you'll hate it and go to bed. Because that was the experience we had in our house. But it was so great. It's Keegan-Michael Key. Alan
like
Cummings
him.
in it.
Oh, I like
Kristen
him.
Chenoweth.
Oh, I like her.
So it's like Brigadoon, obviously, where like the town appears every 100 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's a couple, and they're at a couple's retreat, and they go in the woods, and they find a town, Schmigadoon, and they go into the town. And it's a musical when they get into the town. But it's like an old-timey musical with like all these references to like The Music Man and like Sound of Music, and it's like kind of old school musical. So Kristen Chenoweth is in it. It's great.
My something good. Okay, hot take. And like I'm a huge music fan. I'm not the biggest. I've never been the biggest Beatles fan. And that's kind of a cardinal sin to say because not even arguably, they've had probably some of the biggest influences on popular music today. So you can't, understate the Beatles. But they're, was it Peter Jackson who did it's called Get Back, the kind of like a documentary about them preparing some songs, and it's all this found footage of them in like a studio space rehearsing, and it's long, and they're rehearsing the same like 5 songs. So like if you're not a big Beatles fan and you don't really pay close attention, like you're gonna get bored because you hear the
You're
same
selling
songs.
it, Tom.
Hold on. What really blew me away is like some of those moments where you see Paul McCartney kind of gets like a little tune in his head and he's like bumbling over words. He doesn't have lyrics for it yet. He's kind of workshopping something. And then like John Lennon will start playing guitar, and then, Ringo will come in, and then they start building a beat. And seeing the creative process of these musicians in a very intimate setting it's amazing to watch. And it's really, really cool that they had all this footage and could cut it together. And I highly recommend it for any music lover, even if you're a passive Beatles fan. Go watch it. It's called Get Back.
They're to set a little context, they're recording Let It Be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the last thing they did before they broke up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like all this like tension and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are musical. They're musical geniuses, and they have obviously a million hits. But like seeing the creative process that they go through and have them jam, and they're playing a whole bunch of like other songs by other artists, just jamming. It was really cool. Go watch it.
So mine also musical related, or music related, I guess. Beastie Boys story on Apple Plus also. Really enjoyable. If you're a Beastie Boys fan, go check it out.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years. I had just watched it today. And if you're not, it's still worth checking out. Still a fun. It's kind of like just a live recording.
The Go-Go's one?
I did not see the Go-Go's. This is...
Oh, the Go-Go's one was good.
Yeah, this is more like when Bruce Springsteen did the thing live on stage. No, wait, no,
okay.
Not quite like that. No, this is based off their book. So it's just they're recording on... they record their... like how they went over their story on like a stage show, basically. Similar kind of thing, yeah. So he played music during it, though. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked Tom hasn't made us watch it yet.
No, it's good.
No, it's we're about to.
There you go.
My something good is because I'm ever so sentimental, and my something good always ends up being ridiculously sentimental after these big races, is the Musketeer Mayhem. Is a costume idea that I had that needed 7 people. I asked Anna, Maria, and Susanna to be a part of it, and told Anna to go find like 3 more of her influencer friends to be a part of our group. And for 3 spots, she asked 30 people. And the next thing I knew, I have no idea what happened, and I was in mayhem. And we were going to be the Musketeers, and my costume idea went out the window. Which someday I will do that costume idea, so I'm not even going to bring up what it was. And we started out with like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 of us, and it grew to probably about 35 Musketeers. And And it was just a lot of fun. There was a group chat that got started. I've become really good friends with a number of them through it. And we got to watch each other do a lot of great things this past weekend, and watching them all cheer Maria to the finish was also spectacular. Watching them cross their finish lines was spectacular. It's rare that you find a large group of people that just kind of gel together when you are strangers from the internet, and for the most part, we had zero drama for the last 3 months in this group, and it was just mostly a place of love and support and run Disney magic, and it's been super fun, and I'm super sentimental about it. So shout out to my Mouseketeers. I love you.
Yay!
I love that.
I love that.
All right, well, that brings us to the end. Thank you all for sticking it out with us. We really appreciate it. A lot of big things this year. Please like, subscribe, share the podcast with as many people as you want. Please contact us if you'd like to be on an episode of Inside the Runner Studio. And so this is Tom for Erin, Michael, and Diana. And in the words of the newly engaged and arguably the greatest working American actress, Megan Fox, Megan says, when you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you.
Is the right thing Machine Gun Kelly?
It's either that or Pete Davidson. But we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.